What's up? I want to talk to you guys. The topic of the video is women are never yours, it's only your turn. That's a big trend that a lot of guys that are going through, that are heartbroken. It's like someone asked me, why don't you want to why don't you want to get married? It's the same thing. It's like, you know, the risk of me being with another woman, and then after 5, 8, 10 years, you know, she says, I don't want to be with you anymore. And it happens, I can't afford that, right? So at the end of the day, you could have a woman, but at the end of the day, it's like one guy says, like this multimillionaire, he said, like they asked him, how does it feel to being a multimillionaire? He says, everything is temporary. When we're born with nothing and we die with nothing. So eventually all my money is going to be given to someone. Even if I marry a young woman, eventually I may die first and she'll meet another guy, So even when it comes to marriage, women are never yours, it's only your turn. So, I want to respond about this comment. I was talking about, my trip to Colombia and how, like, I met this Colombian woman. I really did like her. And, so let me digest it, so he said, so you were supposed to keep the hot Colombian and enjoy the ride while it lasts and let her decide. And money always wins. So speaking of that Colombian woman, I still have her number. Like every time I go there, um, you know, we always have a good time. But I was getting kind of annoyed because, when I'm here, I'm trying to message her, and she didn't want to even respond and kind of give me that girlfriend experience because of the fact that I'm not there. Um, but when I was there last time, I messaged her and she knew I was coming and she started calling me. She sent me videos, and I told her, I was like, you didn't message me, and, I'm actually going to see somebody else. And so she was so jealous, She was like, if you don't come see me, don't even talk to me ever again. And, you know, I didn't see her. I actually went to see someone else. And what happened? Yesterday, she sent me a message. She was like, hey, can you help me? I'm going to do some, she wanted me to send her some money and stuff. But I know that if I ever want to, but the thing about it is, you know, um, with her, I told her, I was like, look, you're one of the main girls I want to see, but I'm still talking to other women. I just want you to know, like, we're just, talking, and we're just gonna have fun, and she understands that. This is what a comment he said. So marriage is good, but when they decide to go, you let it go. I kept my house after divorce, and it was very hard to handle all the money, but made it through. If you have the means to go to Colombia every 3 months and have either the same or different girlfriend experience, enjoy the moment, but remember, the moment you depart, other one will fill your spot and accept it. So yeah, that's so true. And that's the whole thing that I titled this video. Women are never yours. It's only in your turn. You're only at that rotation turn that she chooses to be with you. Because you're there. That's why with me, like I talk to like probably about 4 or 5 girls at the same time, and I'm straightforward with them. Like, hey, when I come to Colombia, I want to hang out with you, and we can have that girlfriend experience. I understand you're talking to other guys, but it's cool. But yeah, he made up a good point that, you you know, you got to get into your mind that when you're gone, there's another guy that giving her all the attention, and he's got the upper advantage because he's there. So, so with me, it's like, like I used to think old school. I need to find the woman, and I just need to be a simp, and spoil her and treat her and make her the world, and that's never good enough. And so what I've learned is that um you know when you're with them for that 1 hour, for that 2 hours, you fall in love with them, you give all your emotions and feelings, enjoy the moment. I like taking photos and videos and enjoy the moment, and then when you're gone, boom, drop all the feelings. Like, the feelings is just gone. And a lot of times guys make mistakes because they start fantasizing that idea, like, oh my gosh, we had a good time. You know, I just want to be with you, blah, blah, blah. And then they fall in love, and then all of a sudden they get heartbroken because, like, they found out that, like, I met this one guy, this dude, he left his Colombian guy, he left his wife because he met this young Colombian woman, and then he told her, like, he told his wife, look, we've been together, for whatever, 25 years, and I found someone else. Broke her heart. So he started hooking up with this younger Colombian lady, and he told her, I just want to be with you. And then, oh, actually, no, she was Venezuelan. So actually, what happened was he got her drunk, and then while she was drunk, he used her finger to unlock her phone, and he read all the messages, the WhatsApp messages of all the guys that she was messaging, And then, bro, what he did, he punched her, he broke her jaw, and he says, if I ever see you again here in Colombia, he threatened to, like, kill her, and he told her to leave, and so she went back to Venezuela. I said, bro, that was hardcore. I said, yeah, man, I loved her, and I left my wife because of her, and she cheated on me. I'm like, bro, like, you should already know that. Like, if a woman is hot, they're going to be talking to other dudes, That's why, like, for me, I told them. I told them straight up, like, I don't get, I guess the reason why, some of these ladies, they still want to talk to me because they're not jealous, because they know I'm not jealous, and plus, I help them out. I don't help them out a lot, like $20, that's nothing. $20, $30, just to help them, here and there. But yeah, like I told I told this one lady over there in Colombia, I said, hey, look, I know you're talking to other guys, I don't care, but when you're with me, I want you to just focus on me, And literally, I've been there, Colombia, probably about 4 times, So every time I go to Colombia, I always try to, connect with more Colombian women, just, because my first time there was like 5 of them that I got their contact, and 4 of them just dropped off, but I still have the one, So the second time I got like 4 other ones, and so, some will leave, some will come, some will leave, but every time I go to Colombia, I'm always gonna talk to different women, because think about it, right? If I would have stuck with that one woman, she would have had power over me. And she's like, if you don't come see me, I'm never gonna come see you again. And I didn't want to see her because she doesn't message me when I'm here in Puerto Rico. So what I did was like, okay, cool, I just didn't respond to her, and I met a new Colombian woman, and we had an awesome time. And I'm like, dang, because she was ignoring me while I was here, that motivated me to start, don't put all your eggs in one basket. And so the next time when I go back to Colombia, like in 2 to 3 months, that woman that messaged me that she's gonna cook for me when I go there, we're gonna have a good time. And if I want to see that other woman, I might, but I'm still going to look out for, like, other women, and get to know and build. And hey, maybe maybe I'll find the one where like, oh my gosh, this is the one I want to marry. But it doesn't matter because I'm enjoying the present moment. I'm enjoying the process through this whole journey. It's like a wave. You know what I mean? You ride the wave while it lasts, and once the wave ends, it ends. You know what I mean? But that's why I like making these videos, because and just documenting it, because like when you get old and you can't walk no more and you're like 70 years old, you know I think it's important you can look back at your videos and just say, man, if I died today, it doesn't matter, I lived a good life. You get to watch all the memories. But yeah, so like, women are never yours, it's only your turn. And some of you guys are probably thinking like, dude, bro, you got it all wrong, man. My wife is awesome. You just haven't found the right one. You know, you know, but everybody has a story. Some guys that didn't get lucky. All my first girlfriend I ever dated, she cheated on me. My second one, she cheated on me. My third one, she cheated on me. And then I finally fell in love. My wife, she cheated on me. You know what I mean? So it's like all of them are cheating on me. You know what I mean? And I think part of the reason why the other first girlfriends were cheating on me, because I was like, I was actually a youth pastor. I was preaching, and I didn't believe in having sex before marriage, and basically that pretty much did it for them. And my friend told me, say, oh, the reason why they're cheating on you because you're not sleeping with them. I was like, well, I gotta be a good role model. And so, but you know after I got my divorce, I came up with the conclusion. I was like, every girl, every woman I dated, they ultimately cheated on me. So like, the statistics, the odds, if I'm gonna be with a woman, you know eventually my turn with her is going to be over, because she's either going to cheat on me or just move on. So, you know, so many people, so many men get depressed and they become suicidal because they have this fixated idea. They meet a woman and they fall in love with the fantasy version that they put in their mind. Like, oh, she's so awesome. If I could just be with her, if I could just take her, to my country, and we could just live together, and this is my plan. You know, um, don't force it. And like it's like, don't get mad if a woman makes a decision she doesn't want to be with you. It's like, why would you, if that's the nature, why would you get mad for a dog barking? You know what I mean? Like, that's their nature. You can't, it is what it is. If that's how she feels, then you just have to just accept that. You know what I mean? You're gonna find a woman that, like, man, like this last woman that I was with, she gave me like this girlfriend experience where I was like, dang, I didn't know. Like, like, I didn't know that a woman was capable to give me that feeling. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's probably acting. It's probably not. You know what I mean? But I've been with a lot of women where like she's acting pretty good, and she still messages me like every day, how you doing, hola, hola, without me trying to message her. You know what I mean? That means she's thinking about me. So her is somebody that it's worth my time, and I'm gonna invest my time with. But yeah, anyway, that's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of guys, they get heartbroken because they have this fixated vision of the woman that they like, and they have all these plans how they need to be, and if they don't become the way they want them to be, they get mad, and so they try dating another woman. And you're not going to find the perfect woman that has all the qualities that you want. You know what I mean? That's why I say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like in Colombia, this one chick, she wants to give me that girlfriend experience. And like here in Puerto Rico, the woman here, even the tourists, they don't want to give me that girlfriend experience, but they want to give me that the experience where, like, you know, when we're going zip line, you know, we're hanging out on the beach, you know. And so it's like, you know, I get the abundance of fun with different women. You know, like every woman has their own personalities. They kind of give you that same different type of energy. So anyway, so that's all I wanted to say, you know. So stay tuned for my next video. Oh wait, let me continue reading. So, and then he said, yeah, if you have means to go to Colombia every 3 months and have either the same or different girlfriend, experience, enjoy the moment, but remember the moment you depart, other one will fill your spot. Accepted. Might be cheaper to do it with Colombian girls as they are closer. But as they say, whatever floats your boat, and in times of war, every hole is a trench. I refuse to be an ATM for females' whims. It brings me peace of mind. I did play the game, but got tired of it. Take every day one step at a time and enjoy the journey while it lasts. We are all due to die. It is the only absolute in life. The double and grilled chicken wrap are great there. Thanks. I need to say that. I need to try that. So but yeah, you know, it's you know, the thing about it is, like he was saying about, you know, enjoy your life. You know, we're all doomed to die. You know, many people live their life, never really get to enjoy life. You know, a lot of people put the happiness on pause because they've convinced themselves that some future event will give us everlasting euphoria. Like, no, you got to create the happiness. You got to take the happiness to the people that you bring, you know, and that's what I choose, you know. Like, you know, like, you know, I said to myself, I'm going to nursing school. I said to myself, oh, when I finish nursing school in 2 years, that I'm going to have some money to where I could definitely travel. I was like, no, I'm making time. I'm budgeting my money, making time, so that way in 2 to 3 months, you know, I don't want to live in Colombia. Even though I love Colombia, I think Colombia would be too much of a distraction. You know what I mean? There's so much beautiful women there. I think me being in Puerto Rico is like the perfect hub for me to focus. So I don't have to focus on women, focus on my school, and then focus on just, you know, hustling. And then when I have money saved, and then go to the oasis of Colombia. And the reason why I like Colombia, because, you know, like the woman there could give me that same, you know, the same traditional, like, girlfriend experience, kind of like in the Philippines. But the flight to Philippines is one, it's far and it's too expensive. You know, like 1,400, 1,500 to flight, and you have jet lag by the time you go to the Philippines. And, you know, here it's just, you know, just 3 hours, 2.5 hours, direct flight. And so that's why it's like, you know, Puerto Rico is such a strategic launch pad to live like the passport dream in the Caribbean. It's so close to Colombia. It's so close to Dominican Republic. So close to Costa Rica. I used to live in Costa Rica for a couple of months. So yeah, I mean, I realized I'm at age 45. If I get this, I'll be happy. No, it's like we don't realize that we're living in abundance of everything. We just have to change our perspective and saying we have everything that we have to offer. And we just have to open our eyes and just appreciate it and be creative and how to make it work with your life and find a creative balance to where you can make this your oasis, your paradise. So peace. Stay tuned for my next video.